Well, hello guys, welcome back. I'm having technical issues, but I thought I'd show you. I think my hair might actually be growing back in, so the vitamins are working and the nails are looking halfway decent. But I had the most unusual dream this morning, and I wish I'd made this video this morning, but I was like, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. And in the dream, I'm riding this big elevator, steel elevator, you know, kind of like a lift elevator, kind of like they have in a hospital or something. Like there are big doors here, and there may have been doors in the back. I really didn't pay attention. But I asked a question, and I can't remember the question now for the life of me. And there was kind of like this access hatch, and there was an older gentleman down in the access hatch. And he said, well, why don't you ask the dead? And he met himself. And he came up, and he looks kind of like Santa Claus. And he gave me a response, and I'm like, okay. So I knew I was on the right elevator, because I was headed to somewhere. I was headed to somewhere in this hospital, whatever it was, but I needed to go up and up and up, and then somehow, you know, go through halls. And you know me, if you would release me in any place like that, you would never see me again. You would have to send in a rescue team to find me. Well, we're going up and up and up, and I, in this dream, am a man. I kind of knew I'm in this body of a man. I'm a gay man, and I'm standing there, and I have a cup of coffee, black coffee with sugar in my hand, you know, styrofoam cup. And I'm like, this is interesting, and no matter how much I drank out of the cup, the level stayed the same. Now, I don't know if that means anything or not. And also, after I'm standing there for a while, I realized that they have a coffin, kind of silver coffin. And the gentleman that spoke to me, let's call him Santa Claus, even though he was, you know, dressed in a business suit, like a charcoal gray business suit, he's there. And a couple other people that had been on the, you know, on the elevator are there. And they're kind of gathered around this coffin. Now, it was a style where, you know, the top half is open up. And I could see that there was flowers, maybe. Like gold, orangish flowers. And more like orange flowers. More like orange, maybe daisies and things like that. And I could see a little bit of the pillow, but I could not see the person. And for some reason, I knew it was okay not to go see who this was. Because I thought, well, you know, I'm here and they're having a viewing. I'm not just going to go up and introduce myself. And they actually seemed happy. Not that the person was dead in a bad way, but they were actually happy the person was in a coffin. And I was where I was supposed to be, and I was going to where I was supposed to go. And it occurred to me after a while that this elevator is just going up and up and up and up, and it is not stopping. And I thought, I should probably be afraid, but I wasn't. I was very calm because I knew we would get where we were going eventually. Now then, I get up and I find out I had a phone call while I was asleep of, you know, you guys know how I get my health insurance, of we need this paper and we need that paper. I called the gentleman back and I said, could you please explain exactly what you need? And through various phone calls today, we negotiated to the one I can give him, but the other one I can't. And I said, sir, is there anything I can do? Because I have searched my entire house. This paper does not exist. And the only person that might have a copy I cannot get them on the phone. He says, well, you know, wait until, like, say, maybe Tuesday and see if you have it by then. And I'm thinking, well, you know, the weekend's coming up, Saturday, Sunday, I don't expect to get a response. And I'm like, well, if I don't have anything by Monday, I'll call him back and I'll say, can we do anything? Because I do not have this paper. I have, you know, completely cleaned my house. It's a good thing. But I don't have this paper. So I might not get the insurance, but the guy's been, you know, as helpful as possible. He said, you know, please don't just send the one thing because I still can't process it. Send both. And I'm like, I don't think I even have these. They don't exist. And when you go to fill out these forms, like when I go to fill out forms, my head starts to spin. So I don't even remember what I had filled out on the forms, and I don't know if what I had on the forms was correct to what was on my tax information. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had kind of thought, I would go a year without health insurance anyways because I got the roof poured on. And I thought, oh, they're going to tell me I can't have, they're going to tell me I can't have health insurance. But so far, nobody said anything. Nobody said, hey, we looked at this and we looked at that, and you can't have health insurance. So far, nobody said that. But it's one of those things, and I thought, well, this paper's gone missing. And Loki is the god of missing things. I said, okay, Loki, I don't know if it's, me being irresponsible or you've made sure the paper went missing, but I know something's going on here. It's not just, oh, it's a tragedy, I should get hysterical, and oh, woe is me, I won't have insurance for a year. It's something, because I put it in Loki's hands, and I was even, talking to my parents. I'm like, I've torn this house apart, I cannot find it. And what will be. And I put it in Loki's hands, and I said, this paper just, it's not here. I've gone through the entire house several times. You guys know I basically live in this room, so it wouldn't be anywhere else. I looked in all my bags. I'm like, well, maybe the day I got my taxes done, and that's almost a year ago, I put it somewhere strange. So I went and I looked in my bags, and it's not in my bags. And I looked in my cupboard right where all my other tax returns are, and everything is there except for this one. And I'm like, oh, did I not get copies? If I get copies, can I get them in time? Because I think the official date is like the 21st. But since my work was done so much earlier, I filled that form out and sent it back in the day I got it. I think I have until Tuesday so they can move the case along and clear a path for other people. And I'm like, well, whatever will be, will be. But I put it in Loki's hands. I'm like, I know you have something to do with this. Either, I'm not saying he hid the paperwork. Loki wouldn't say, well, you're going without health insurance for a year. That's what you're doing. But he can either, by some miracle, get me the paperwork I need. Or I told him, after I did calm down, because of course I didn't take it well, not having the paperwork. I said, I'll call this guy on Monday so he knows I'm at least trying, and I'll say, sir, I cannot find this paperwork. Can we do a workaround? Can I send you something else? Because he's the first one to ever ask for specific paperwork. Everyone else I've ever dealt with through them, oh, just send me a copy of this or send me a copy of that. And he's like, they need this official paperwork. So maybe things changed. And I'm thinking, well, I don't have it. I just, it could have accidentally gotten thrown out or whatever. And unfortunately, the office that would have a copy cannot get anyone. And there's no sense leaving 50 emails or phone calls. They won't answer any faster if they're not there. And, it's one of those things. So I've put it in Loki's hands, and I'll probably know Monday. I'll get up whenever, and I won't get up specific time, but I'll call Monday if I don't hear anything over the weekend, because I don't think I will. I mean, I don't expect to come down tomorrow and find the papers I need nice and neat in the middle, of my kitchen counter or something. They're gone. They don't exist. And I've, looked for the last 3 or 4 hours in this house, just kept cycling through all the places I could look. So sometimes these things do happen, and we have to put them, in Loki's hands. If it turns out that I can't find the paperwork and they do deny me, then, there are, we call them care clinics here that, drugstores will have, where it's, anywhere from a quarter or less compared to what you'd pay for going to your doctor. To pay to go to my doctor just for a routine checkup is $275 at least. And they will not spare you the money if you don't have it, and you're expected to pay the bill now. But if you go to a care clinic, I believe it's about $75. It's still a lot, but it's better than trying to find like $275, $350 or whatever to go see your doctor. And then since you've been at the clinic and they know your situation, they'll give you, the least cost possible on what you might need to take. So it might be interesting. It might be a year of learning to live thriftily because it won't affect my bottom line. I was thankfully not having to pay for the health insurance because I don't have the money to, actually pay for health insurance. But at the same time, it will be an adventure. So I probably will not be walking on my regular route. I mean, now it's too cold, but in the spring and that, if it turns out I don't have the insurance, I probably won't. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise because I'll tell you what, I always thought, well, I have insurance cards with me. If I get hit or something, they can take me to the hospital. And that's not exactly sound planning because there are crosses on this road of people that have gotten into car crashes and people have been killed. And as I said, there are needles on the road and there are weirdos that try to pick you up in their car and there are sketchy people in the park. You find like drug spoons and spent needles and you'll be there at the wrong time and somebody will be there with a prostitute and you're like, my eyes. And yeah, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise because I can walk in the house. That's how, like, initially, like, when I did all that crazy weight loss, I actually started working out in the house, and I worked out in the house for a couple months. So it is possible to walk in the house and get healthy, even without a walking machine. I did it before. And, as for, like, the rest of the events of the week, I just might need a change. I just might need to take, like, a year or so, if not sabbatical, because I won't be sabbatical from YouTube or anything, but kind of like a sabbatical from the town. Because the person never did get to me about, oh God, I didn't check my email or something, or I didn't check my Facebook, and oh, please come up, please do. I will punch out the nearest person that says anything to you. I never got that response. So I'm like, okay, that's good because it will be pretty cold tomorrow. And, now if the insurance is going to disappear come January 1st, I am not going to go out and step on black ice and fall and end up in the hospital for 6 weeks. So, I hope you guys like this. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will be fine. I've gone through periods where I've been paying so much for health insurance that I couldn't afford food and I couldn't afford to go to the doctor. And I've been through periods where the doctor wouldn't take my health insurance, and I've been through all other sorts of stuff. So I've been also without coverage before. It happens. So I will be okay, guys. And I'm going to look at it as an adventure and as a chance to kind of reboot. And even if I would somehow get the, paperwork and get it in on time and get put through, or they would work with me, even then, I still think I'm going to keep with the plan of stay in the house, kind of stay out of, like, the crazy weather and stay away from the crazy people for a while. So, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. And I wanted you guys to see, like, I think the hair is actually finally starting to grow back in. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.